to the podcast, Travel Nursing and Allied Life. Today is the Exhibitor Minute, and with me, our guest today is an ER travel nurse who saw an opportunity for improvement in his traveling career and decided to do something about it. After being frustrated with the inefficiencies and lack of security with credentials paperwork, he got together with a friend of his and co-founded Kamana, a software company that helps healthcare workers organize their credentials efficiently. Kamana joined us for the first time at TravCon last year in 2019, when they were only in their first year of operations. John refers to himself as Customer Zero and is here with us today to share his wisdom on the topic of organizing credentials for healthcare travelers. Welcome to the podcast, John Modica. Hi,
Thank
John.
you, Michelle. I'm doing well, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Customer Zero, eh? I like that.
Yeah, definitely user zero of the Kamana app. And, I always felt like a good ER nurse, right? But when it came to traveling, I just felt like I wasn't a good travel nurse. And it was always around my credentials. And I would, get a call from a recruiter with an awesome contract in that city I've been trying to get into. And then it would just come to scrambling to find my stuff and getting it over to them. And just felt like I never really had my credentialing life in order when it came to travel nursing. And that's what got me and my good buddy and now co-founder Dave looking at the space and talking to other travelers who are having similar pain points. And that started us down this path.
Yeah, you and Dave are longtime friends, are you not? You were friends way before this?
We were, and we were actually bandmates too, and roommates, which sets you up well for being co-founders together. Yeah,
totally. And what did you play in the band?
I played bass, and Dave played drums, so we were close in that aspect too.
That's great. Yeah, the whole credentialing component is a huge pain point for travelers. There's been people over the years that have tried to provide a source or tried to provide a product that will help reduce the pain point, but nothing is really sort of taken hold. So tell us a little bit more about how good it is or what the importance is of digitalizing and being able to secure your data and also make it instantly available when you need it, because these jobs come and go very quickly these days.
Yeah, sure. So, you hit the nail right on the head. These jobs come and go, and it's about speed to submittal. So when you choose to become a travel healthcare professional, you'll usually connect with one recruiter through maybe a referral, through a fellow traveler that you know, and pretty quickly you'll start having conversations with multiple recruiters and from different staffing agencies and see that they all have different opportunities and different benefits and different cities and pay packages. So pretty quickly you get to the point to where you're having to share information with multiple parties. And the importance of, whether it's a tool like Kamana or however, having your stuff organized in a nice, clean package so that when a recruiter calls you with a great opportunity, you can share what they need right there from your phone. Or, if you're starting that credentialing process, you don't have to wait till you get home and get on your laptop or start digging through files. Or if you're, in another city, you may not have your medical records or whatever's needed. So having everything just stored in one place, as you know, Michelle, we've got lots of certs and licenses and medical records, and those things are always expiring. So even if I'm on contract in Alaska, I don't want my Florida license to expire or, my TNCC license that I may not be currently using. So just keeping a pulse on when things are expiring through a tool like Kamana or just a system on your own will help you stay ahead of those renewals and avoid any of those things kind of expiring. And then I think lastly, and really most importantly to us, is you have to be secure with how you share this information.
I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah, it was always a challenge when you were asked to email things or you tried to add a password to it. That was always a real challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you handle security?
Yeah, so, just like patient data, everything in Kamana is encrypted at rest and in transit. So, if you and I were both working in separate ERs and you were going to transfer me a patient, you would never email that patient's data to me or text it to me, right? So same concept in Kamana. Once you upload your items and your medical records and your work history and your social security number and whatever data you choose to store in this digital wallet, it's going to stay encrypted at all times. It's never shared with any third parties or anything like that. And then if you do choose to share it with, it could be a recruiter, it could be somebody up in HR, it could be an educator for that nurse practitioner program that you're starting. Whatever it might be, you're deploying them a unique link. And when they click that link, they can see what permissions you grant them to see in your profile. And if at any point they don't need access anymore, you can break that link so that we're, instead of sharing this stuff via text or email, we're just giving somebody access to our profile and turning it off when they no longer need it.
That's excellent. Those of us who have taken the step to digitalize either on Dropbox or Google and secured it, that's fantastic. But then that final step of getting it to the recruiter or to the company that needs it, that's always been a bit of a hang-up point. So it sounds like you've managed to address that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like we said, speed to market. So if somebody calls you and they've got a great job, and you can start that profile by, right from your phone, sharing that link so that you can be the first one for that open job.
Right.
And also kind of just present yourself professionally. I know personally, my resume was always a contract or two behind on being updated. So at times I'd have to say, here's my resume, but by the way, I also worked here in between this spot. So kind of just giving a healthcare specific way to manage our professional portfolio.
Very good. Now, John, you started only last year in February or March, right? And you were really reaching out to travelers and saying, hey, try this out. What do you think? What can we improve on? What are some of the changes or the updates you've made based on the traveler recommendations?
Yeah. So, Michelle, if we had known each other at that time, I would have been texting you and saying, hey, Michelle, make a profile. Tell me what stinks. Tell me what could be better. So it initially started with, that user experience. Like this should be, credentialing's always been such a pain point. So let's make it really easy to get this stuff in there and make it intuitive. So the feedback initially was around what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what could be better. And then once we kind of felt like we had that complete profile, it was questions around, what did that recruiter need that you couldn't put into your profile? So adding things like attachments on references, we had the ability to upload a PDF or an image for any licenses or CER or medical record, but doing the same thing for references, or, talking to friends that are in PT or OT or respiratory therapists and some of these other healthcare roles and saying, what is this intuitive for you? Is it have all the certifications and licenses that you have, and making it really a complete profile for any traveling healthcare professional, not just RNs. And we've grown a lot since then, and we have a lot of users, but we still have that open door. And anytime we interact with them, whether it be through support or sending an email or anything like that, we always want to continue to encourage that feedback, because I'm a travel nurse, but we can't do all of this off my opinion and experience. So we very much leverage that community.
At what point in the career or in the traveling career do you suggest that people should upload and start their profile?
Yeah, so we see folks doing it right out of nursing school. So obviously in the travel healthcare space, it's where we're most commonly sharing this info over and over and over again. But it doesn't have to be for the traveler. It's free for any healthcare professional. So really, just as soon as you're ready to maybe interact with employers, or if you just want a place to keep your stuff stored and get reminders on when things are expiring, knowing that your data is never leaving the platform. So it's really just up to the healthcare professional. But if you're going to get out there and start interacting with recruiters, they need information on you quickly too. So having everything nice and organized before you kind of hit that job hunt is probably best practice.
That's a really good thing to know, that it's not just for healthcare travelers, because for nursing, you want a good couple of years under your belt before you start traveling. And there's
absolutely
nothing wrong with staying current with your, however many ACLS, BLS, PALS, whatever you have in there. And for allied professionals too, it's really handy to be able to keep all of that in one place. Very good. If someone wants to find out more about you, John, where do they go?
Yeah, so they can go to kamanahealth.com, and you'll see right there is where you can create your profile. It's a web application, so you don't have to download it from the App Store, but you can still use it on your phone and even save it to the backdrop on your phone. And then just founders@kamanahealth.com, or you can email me directly at john@kamanahealth.com. We love getting feedback, getting ideas, telling us what could be better. And that's really how we'll continue to evolve this product and continue to make credentialing easier, especially in travel healthcare.
Thank you. Thank you for taking on a big pain point for the travelers and really trying to make it easier. That's huge. We're looking forward to seeing you this coming year in TravCon for TravCon 2020. We're actually moving venues this year. We're heading over to the Paris. Just happened to tour it a few weeks ago, and it's gorgeous. So we're really looking forward to that. It's a much bigger space. So if the regulations are such that we should have some separations and 6 feet, we can accommodate that. So we're really looking forward to it. We've heard from so many travelers that one-to-one connection, even though we do everything online here, we're having to do podcasts and meetings online, that it's still that personal connection that is huge. So they're really looking forward to next September. And I look forward to finally meeting you in person. I know you were there last year, but I didn't get a chance to meet up with you. So looking forward to next year.
Yeah, absolutely. We are too. And we appreciate everything you and your team do. TravCon's always super fun. So we're looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, John. You have a great day.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks for listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life. You can find the full show notes below or at travcon.org. Please help us out by rating our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a comment below or email us at podcast@travcon.org.